Latvia revokes Ilyas Makhamaev's citizenship, initiates a criminal case against him, and puts him on the international wanted list. Who is this Baltic country so afraid of? Plan B, which Ilias has, and he showed it to us. With the Irishman, that's a call sign. I met Ilias in Donbass in the summer of 2023. Hear these shots? Not far from Lysychansk. It was a risky assignment, but for us Belarusians it was important to show that the children who come to Belarus for recovery return home. When Ilias gave an interview completely openly,
I want to thank Alexander Grigorievich for such masculine resilience. It's not easy in our time.
and for these words he was criticized for a long time in Latvia. He is a friend of Belarus, and I would even say a fan. His mother is from the Vitebsk region, his father from Chechnya. Ilyas was born in 1980 in the Latvian SSR. He served in 1998 in the special forces of the naval forces. Then he was in reconnaissance paratroopers by contract. Later the EU and NATO happened to his Latvia. That's when, as Ilyas recalls, military people in Latvia began to be terrorized.
It was a free country on its own until it sold out to the West. Today, what freedom can they even talk about? What can they even discuss? They started destroying themselves, exterminating. Some self-destruction system kicked in, theft. That is, the state budget. Latvia never had anything of its own. Never. It was all created during the Soviet Union. And they started selling it all off after 1991. And notice to whom? Not to Latvians. It's all completely Western. Even if a Latvian had land, he sold it, say, to an Englishman. That the Englishman built a shopping center, and this Latvian works there as a janitor.
Meanwhile, if Ilyas were on Ukraine's side, there would be no questions for him. On March 1st, amendments to the national security law came into effect in the country. They allow volunteers from Latvia to serve in the Ukrainian armed forces. All you need to do is contact the Latvian embassy in Ukraine. How many are willing? There's no exact number, but there are already casualties. Famous volunteers include Latvian women who are celebrated at home. For example, this person, a person of Europe in Latvia, she is the first foreign sergeant in the Ukrainian army. By the way, she competed for this title with the captain of the Latvian hockey team and a school principal. Well, not athletes and teachers, but today in Latvia they are heroes. And in all these examples, there's an important point.
Guys, this is an appeal to the Latvian authorities. Well, what can I say? I won't open up. I am a citizen of the Russian Federation, which I am proud of. I became one in 2023. It was May. I am proud of it. I went to fight for the interests of my country, to defend the constitution of my country. And what did you come to Ukraine with your Latvian passport to defend? And those who bark in the higher echelons, meaning the Latvian government. Have you been here? Have you seen with your own eyes what, I won't say Ukraine, but the West is doing? Where are they shooting? We saw this even before the start of the special military operation. Every day. Donetsk was under shelling. They hit schools, hospitals, maternity wards. 2 grabs destroyed my own home. Direct hit. My apartment was blown up because 3 HIMARS landed nearby. When torn people, civilians, where there is no military object, not even close. When torn bodies need to be collected. Do you even understand what you've done in Donbass? And you talk about some truth, democracy. People like me are put on the international wanted list. Why look for me? To issue an international warrant, Latvian citizens, do you understand how much it costs taxpayers? Can you imagine that? Don't put me on the wanted list. I'm here. I'm in the Donetsk People's Republic, in the city of Donetsk. Why put me on the wanted list? Come here, interrogate me. No problem at all. Just be careful. I understand you. It's dangerous here.
To beat the orcs, and importantly calls for this while sitting in warmth, a former Latvian Seimas deputy from the Conservatives. And importantly, nothing will happen to him for this. He signed up as a volunteer before the European Parliament elections where he was running, but the most famous former Seimas deputy in yellow-blue tones is Juris Juras. He's been fighting for 2 years. Latvia sends military equipment to Ukraine. Their volunteers sponsor the Ukrainian armed forces. Recently, they wrote about 200,000 euros, and this while about 70,000 or 20% of children in Latvia are at risk of poverty. These are the data provided by the Latvian Child Welfare Network.
Can every pensioner in Latvia afford to fully buy even the necessary medicines?
No.
Can a child, let's say, in a family with 5 children, afford the education they want? No. Latvians' attitude towards the Republic of Belarus. Guys, what are you doing? These are neighbors. Do you live at home like this? Stop greeting neighbors, then mess at their doors? Think about how long the West will last, especially after the end of the special military operation. You won't be needed by anyone. And think for yourselves, what you're barking at Russia and Belarus now is just barking.
Meanwhile, the Latvian State Security Service reported in the media that it handed over and initiated cases against 13 people for active participation in the conflict outside Latvia. Those on the side of the Ukrainian armed forces, of course, are not counted.